To be expected. He was the very best. Are you ready in case?
2 squads of our finest agents are waiting to say hello.
Good. I'll bolt the animal lab from the inside. Remember, alive if you can manage it. If not, get the head to me as soon as possible.
Yep, Touhou Manhunt. A mod duology that actually exists. I'm not making any of this up. There are 2 mods out there for both Manhunt games that turn the characters into characters from the Touhou Project franchise. I only know so much about Touhou, so I can't claim to really know the ins and outs of it. I know it's a bullet hell shooter with a massive, massive fan base. I know that it dates back way back to like Windows 98 era. And I'm aware that Embodiment of Scarlet Devil's a really good one, but I haven't actually played any of them, though they're on my bucket list. So, inevitably, with a franchise this big, fandom this big, it's going to cross over into other fandoms. And this is the strangest example yet, because this crosses over with Manhunt of all things. A series about stealth kills and survival horror in a way. But it's fun. These mods are clearly passion projects by Eddie Louk, who has a YouTube channel covering it, the progress made behind the mods, and the mods released themselves. It's really cool to see this come together, and I gotta say, there's a lot of love put into this, from the sound effects to the textures to the level names. There's a ton that gets changed in both mods, for the sake of creating this atmosphere of the Touhou Project in this ultra-violent, brutal game.
Streets are being patrolled by gangs. They're scum, just like you. And they're here to hunt you down and cut you up. I'll try to direct you as best I can, but other than that, you're on your own. It's up to you.
And for some, it could be like mixing peanut butter and steak, where it's just 2 completely different things that should not be combined. And that's fine. But I had fun with both mods. I see what they're going for, and I like them both. Aside from the character changes, you're not going to see like a big story overhaul or anything in either of them. So the big differences will be in gameplay and, of course, visuals. Visually, both mods look great. They do a decent amount to try to make the characters fit the environments, changing things like menu icons and buildings and other things to like be Japanese or to fit the setting better. The sound effects are given overhauls, like the shotgun, sniper rifle, and other stuff are given more magical sounding things, like they're shooting spells.
Daddy, don't listen to Leo. You don't have to do this. Now, Daniel, let's... Your brain is too valuable to waste, Daniel. Don't.
And, of course, the models, like dozens of them for individual hunters and so on, complete with gore and dismemberment. It can feel kind of messed up to be brutalizing these cute anime girls, but hey, that's what the mod's for. Can't fault it for doing what it set out to do. The first Touhou Manhunt's interesting because it is pretty much just, in a way, Manhunt with a visual overhaul, but there are some gameplay changes. The revolver has 8 rounds instead of 6, and there are some really good quality of life changes, like the later levels, which are almost all about gunplay and about getting into firefights with Cerberus and the SWAT. They include some blue-class melee weapons, so you can actually stealth them to some degree, which is a huge step up because I hated the last levels of Manhunt, aside from Deliverance. The shooting in Manhunt 1 is not good, and I never got used to it compared to Manhunt 2. The only problem is that I noticed at several points that my version kept crashing. And I tried looking into why, and I found that usually they would crash right around the area of the tutorial gate of the first Manhunt. And that's when I realized it was the Steam version of Manhunt 1 screwing me over. Because you see, Rockstar, in their infinite wisdom, decided to load up the first Manhunt on Steam with anti-piracy measures, and they've never fixed them. So it's an uphill battle. There are ways to remove all of these protections so you can play the game you paid for, but that's an entire mod in of itself. The Manhunt 1 plugin is what you should download. It comes bundled with this version of the Touhou mod. It seems like the Steam version was incompatible with both. So installing the Touhou mod caused the anti-piracy removal to be gone. And because of that, I couldn't really make progress in any meaningful way. But the stuff I did play was a lot of fun, so I'd recommend checking it out. Just not on the Steam version. If you can find another version on the computer, I would highly recommend playing the first Touhou Manhunt. On to the second.
It sits just outside Heaven's Gate, 'cause every city is hell, and the kids are paid in blood. God lies, kids. Nature will kill. It's a ranch where sinners don't expect forgiveness, and a man lives alone with his demons. Soon, listen for the blood. Listen for the bell at 5 past high noon.
It's exactly what you'd think it is. Manhunt 2 with Touhou characters for both Danny and Leo and the hunters and the menu icons, everything else. It's not a content restoration mod. It does restore the 3 levels of gun execution, which is nice, but if you're coming here hoping for like the guillotine or the dumpster executions to come back, that's not what this is about. This is a visual audio overhaul. It's meant to be goofy and absurd, and it's fun. It's it's a little disturbing, again, to be popping heads, using a sniper rifle, be blowing up the heads of anime girls, or just sawing them open with a power saw, but that's the weird charm of the mods. I can't judge because I tried recreating the Doki Doki Literature Club cast in Time Splitters 2, so I feel like I don't have any grounds to stand on when it comes to judging that kind of stuff. And for what it's worth, I had fun with it. It's a fun way to revisit the games, and I like the visual overhauls, like even for the menu, for the loading screens, for the intro and outro cutscenes. Sometimes they even get changes.
Behind you!
Touhou Manhunt 2 ends with a special music video made by the creator, and I just think that's so cool. There's a lot of passion and a lot of love put into these mods, and they're not for everybody. They never set out to be these huge things that would get everybody's attention, appeal to everybody, but they're fun. The creator set out to accomplish a mixture of 2 very different franchises, and he succeeded. So again, shout out to Eddie Louk for making Touhou Manhunt 1 and Touhou Manhunt 2. I'd suggest giving them the time of day if you're a fan of both franchises, or if you just want to see the games take on a goofier style to them. I'll include links in the description to both. Thank you guys for watching, and take care.